Hello, YouTubers, friends, compatriots, bootlickers, shills, debt slaves, serfs, peasants, vassals, minions, meat sacks. I'm a useful idiot. Welcome. And I want to talk a little bit about Biden's other war, the one that nobody ever talks about. And of course, now that Biden is bowing out, I guess it's no longer his war. It's going to be Kamala's war for the next 6 weeks. I don't know. But in any case, it is an actual war. And it's indicative of the fact that we live in an age when there's wars going on all over the place, and they are considered military actions, and U.S. presidents just circumvent Congress. There's no declaration of war, and yet these are definitely wars. And so it's indicative of our era. Although, of course, this is a trend that's been going on for years. The Korean War was never a declared war. The Vietnam War was never a declared war. And all of the wars, so many of them, that have come into the world that the U.S. is involved in for the last, 60, 70 years are all undeclared. So that's just a sign of the times. War doesn't even need to be declared anymore, and it's just a free for all. And so the war we have now, that's been going on for a while, is the war against Yemen. And Saudi Arabia, of course, has been in a war in Yemen for 10 years now. And I did a video 8 years ago, Trump's first day in office as U.S. president. One of the first things he did was go over and bomb Yemen a little bit. So they're all in on it, and that's not going to change. And this war in Yemen is going to go on for a long time. But what we have now, of course, is Yemen in unity with Gaza has been launching all these attacks, certainly on a lot of U.S. shipping and international shipping, including attacks on the U.S. Aircraft carrier, the Eisenhower. And then recently, last couple of days, we had that dramatic drone attack by Yemen on the capital of Israel, Tel Aviv. I think something like 80 people were injured or killed. And so this is a real war. But as I mentioned, in this day and age, it barely makes a mark. It's hardly in the media. But one of the things that shows that it's actually a war is that in the last year of the conflict between Gaza and Israel, 570 strikes by the United States and its allies, including Great Britain, have occurred. And there was a recent huge attack by U.S. and British warplanes on Yemen. And we're also seeing an increasing sophistication of weapons that are in the hands of the Houthis in Yemen. And so that's up the game. Shipping in all the maritime zones that Yemen has access to are all open. They're just wide open to the kind of weaponry that comes in now. And even the U.S. Pentagon, U.S. military said that with the increasing sophistication of the weapons that Yemen has, they almost can't defend themselves against it. So we're gonna see more drama. But like I say, the big picture for me is just the fact that there's all these attacks going on all the time, particularly all over the Middle East, and there's no war. We've had these exchanges for the last year between Lebanon and Israel, and there's no declared war. We've had these exchanges of fire between all the participating places around that region, attacks on Jordan, attacks in Syria, and nothing ever really happens, and other than more war. But and then for the last, I don't know, 10 years, Israeli jets have been making major strikes all over Syria, and yet there's no actual official war. So I guess that's my point. So my two big points is we have a global situation now where there's all kinds of hostilities, lots of people being killed, lots of attacks across all kinds of borders and supposedly sovereign nations, and yet there are no declared wars. And then, of course, my other point is, during the Biden administration, which is now officially over, he has multiple wars going on, but people just concentrate on Ukraine and Gaza, and that becomes the narrative. So as I say all the time now, it's truly a world gone mad, and perpetual war is just something we're going to have to live with. I'm a useful idiot. Don't you be one too?